What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rapid Sparza, coming to you with another great installment of the Grappling Hour. I hope you're having a great day. I'm having a very, very good day. I had some great training with our guest here, who we'll get to in just a second. But before we get to him, a few quick reminders. First and foremost, if you like this show, and I hope that you do, I would love it if you check us out at patreon.com/grappling hour. But Raph, what do I get if I go to patreon.com/grappling hour? Well, for just $5 a month, you can see my interviews 30 days before anybody else. And for a few extra bonus dollars, you can see extra bonus content not available anywhere else, including tape studies where we watch matches with the athletes who are involved in major fights and grappling matches. We do a segment called Roast Raph where people roast my competition footage. You guys love that one for whatever reason. We also do a segment called the Grappling Hour Challenge where people are given a card with the submission on it, and they have 2 minutes to get a submission on me. The only caveat is I get to roast them. Amongst other fun things that we do, we ask people their favorite matches or fights of the year, and we are going to do that here after we do this interview. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But if you guys want to see those things, you can only exclusively see them at patreon.com/grappling hour if you are a premium member. But if you want to do the $5 one, that's perfectly fine. Yes, there's also a free version, but you get the interviews later like everybody on YouTube. So check that out, patreon.com/grappling hour. Additionally, friends, you want to get you some Grappling Hour merch. You can do so by going over to rapasparza.com/merch. We got tank tops, hoodies, t-shirts, and we are telling people this exclusively now. If you get a tank top that says Grappling Hour on it, don't care if you're on steroids. Don't. You're trying to show off the gains? I don't know how you got them. I just assume through jiu-jitsu. So there be that, rapasparza.com/merch. Additionally, I'd love it if you could like, subscribe, and comment on this video. It helps us get more people to watch this episode. And if you don't know what you want to comment on, by the end of this episode, I will give you a prompt. And last but not least, if you want to continue the discussions that we have here on the show, you can head on over to our Discord page. All right, enter guest. Well, I have to say, I have commentated this young man's fights. I have seen him in the cage. I have seen him do incredible things in the cage and outside of it. But he is about the smiliest competitor that we have in all of Southern California. He's got an incredible story, and I'm just excited because we've been meaning to do this interview for a minute, and we're finally getting around to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for the very first time here to the show, one Jay Negrete. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you for inviting me and grappling with me earlier and teaching me some things.
Well, I mean, you have incredible grappling. So I'm just giving you small little things that I observe. But your control, your pressure is phenomenal. It is what you hope for in most people when they say they're going to do MMA. Yeah. So you've really honed your craft well. But you mentioned to me, and this is maybe where I might have some discrepancy. You mentioned to me that you are still a white belt.
Yeah, white belt, no stripe.
Why is that so?
To be honest, I don't wear my gi very often, and I need to wear it Monday through Thursday when class starts, and I choose not to. I choose to sometimes just hit the bag with the guys. But 2026, I will be wearing my gi more often. I will be in jiu-jitsu tournaments, trying to continue to learn the jiu-jitsu world and get my stripe game up as well.
Okay. Here's the issue. When you enter these tournaments, I don't want to tell these people to put you in the higher division, but I feel there are some places that say if you fight, you already have to go to a blue belt level.
Yeah.
And then there are some that you're going to be able to generally go into based off of you being a white belt. But you're not really a white belt. You don't roll like a white belt. And you have incredible instructors who have really guided you. And I can feel what they have taught you just in the time that we got to train today. So kudos to them. And please send my compliments to the chefs over there.
Thank you. I will. Coach Fritz, I appreciate you.
Now, when I was saying I knew I was going to roll with you today. I know a little bit about your story, and we'll get more into it as we go. But anybody who has lost a significant amount of weight is always going to have that extra strength.
Yes.
So I knew that was going to happen. Guess what? Wasn't far off from that. The second part of it is you've also played football growing up.
Yes.
So you were an athlete in addition to being a bigger guy. You had power then too.
Well, yeah, I didn't actually play football until I got to junior college. I played high school basketball, travel basketball, middle school, all that. And things didn't work out. I didn't reach the 6 foot something mark like I thought I was, and decided to take the football route. And like you said, me being an athlete, I trusted my instincts that I could compete with the guys, and I ended up taking the football route. And then I got a scholarship for that. So
nice. Well, congratulations on that. Let's take a second here. So what did you first start playing? Like, what was your first sport?
my very first sport was baseball.
Really?
And
Okay.
I transitioned to basketball, and I went from playing basketball from age 11 all the way until I was 18, 19 when I got to junior college.
What did you like about basketball when you were playing it?
Well, me being short, I had to think a lot, a step ahead of my opponents, and that's what it was. Just having the mind game ahead of my opponent,
Mm-hmm.
having the crowd go wild. I had teammates that played overseas, so throwing alley oops, the teammates, them dunking it. It just the adrenaline rush, and Kobe. Kobe was obviously a big inspiration. Us being from SoCal, just that Mamba mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me with basketball, helped me with school, and you take that with life lessons as well. So basketball really was my go-to.
Were you passing to people? Because
I was making sure I got my points as well.
You know what I mean? Like when you talk about Kobe, this is the part that I always feel gets glossed over in the later years. Again, a fan, but it was a long period in the early 2000s that a lot of the children don't know.
Yeah.
And that man just was like, I don't want to pass to anybody.
No, yeah.
And later the explanation makes sense. Yeah. But there was an era where I was like, dude, what is this guy's malfunction?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Lakers, but there's something that I just didn't gel with. And then later, he brings us titles and I go, well, I don't care. Now,
your method is
whoever brings daddy a title.
Yeah, we're good.
It's daddy's love. So that's fine.
Yeah.
But over the years, he was like, they just didn't show up to practice.
Yeah.
And they weren't there. So when people would tell me they emulate Kobe, I'm like, I hope that they don't just take the attitude of him without the ethic work.
Right.
So when they're talking about like, I'm like Kobe, I was like, I didn't see you in the gym.
No.
I'll tell you real quick what he would have told you. So I feel that's a good thing to take. And now that we're all older, I loved seeing his influence on so many athletes and so many people that I've talked to that were just like, I've watched him do this or Dear Basketball or all these things that appeal to them. So it's very interesting to see the different ways that people have connected to him. So you play basketball, you're done.
Yes. I was at a junior college playing basketball there. And it was actually a football coach that stayed my whole practice and was like, hey, you're pretty athletic for a little short guy. And I was like, appreciate it, coach. And didn't mind it much. Just kept going with basketball. But he stayed for a whole 3-hour practice. And I was like, well, if you can spend some time to watch me, I can spend some time to go check out football. And the rest was history. I was going to play. He was the running backs coach, and I was going to play running back, but he ended up going to being bumped into offensive coordinator. And they had a new running back coach, and he was like, you're too fat for me. And so I was like, what weight do you want me at? And he was just like, it's too fat. And so then I ended up going to LA Valley because half the coaching staff went there from Pierce. And I was like, I'm going to be running back over here. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to kill. And, I got to tie my shoe. And you know, like in those movies where you see a bully shadow comes over you. I see a shadow come over me, and I look up, and it's the same running back coach. He's like, "Oh, I'm over here, fat boy." He's like, "So what position you think you're playing over here?" I thought running back, and they moved me to linebacker, and then from linebacker to moving to D line. And D line, I had to gain my weight, but I jumped up so high that I reached 340 pounds. So that's when that's when I knew I'm a little too big at 5'7".
Okay. Let's compartmentalize. There's a lot that just happened, including some potential therapy bills.
Yeah.
Okay. First and foremost, when you were playing basketball, what weight were you at then?
I was at 190 pounds.
Okay. So then as you were starting to play football, in order to increase your abilities in those positions, you were like, I need to be bigger.
Yeah.
And I need to have sturdiness, because now you're going to be in positions that if you're the weight you're at then,
Yeah.
they're going to move you around like no problem.
And so I started to transition, getting, you know, more lifting, because now from basketball to football, lifting is different. It's way different. So now I'm trying to gain muscle. I'm trying to lift. I'm trying to squat. And I didn't do none of that with basketball. So now I go from 190 to 210.
Mhm.
And that coach was like, I like my running backs like 170. I just gained this weight. I don't think I could take it off. There's no weight cutting with the football. So yeah, I ended up moving to linebacker. And then that first year at linebacker, I was very, very light, very, very small. My teammates are all 6'2", 245. And you see me 5'7", 210. And it just didn't work out well. But like I said, that off season, my mom fed me well. I was having about 6 meals a day. It seemed like that's what it seemed like. I don't know exactly, but my mom was making sure I ate very, very well. Steak and eggs for breakfast, and here's another sandwich 2 hours later. And I went from, like I said, 210 to 340, all within an off season, and it wasn't very healthy.
Okay. No, I mean, I get that part. Okay, let's go back to this coach. What are your feelings? Because now you're not 310.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about this coach being like, hey, every greeting is, what's up, fatty?
Yeah.
Because it feels like something out of The Nutty Professor here. And you're just looking at him being like, sir, I have a name. And it's like, yeah, fatty, what's up?
I was hurt because he was a big man himself.
Oh,
and it was like, brother, who are you calling big? Who are you calling fat? He's big himself, over 300 himself. And it was just like, can't win with this guy. You can't win with this guy.
Hold on. Let me just say this. I know that PC culture is what it is, but when we were growing up, things were a little looser.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of people wanting to come back and do that sort of stuff now. But I feel now that I know this information about him, it's sort of like amongst even a PC culture, I go, well, I still get to do Mexican jokes.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can't do them about other cultures, but I get that.
Yeah.
I think this dude's like, I get fat rights.
Yeah.
So I get to say that you're fat. Having said that, that is an incredibly
It was mind-blowing.
important time for a young man to develop their sense of worth. And you're like, well, if I'm going to play this position, that's what I got to do.
Yeah. And I was like, I want to play. I wanted a scholarship. I wanted to get out and just be one of the first people to be in my family to go out to college and get not only a scholarship, but just a 4-year degree. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll roll with the punches. And I gained a lot of weight, like I said, but it ended up playing out very well for me. I had scholarships and all that. And I ended up going to a Division II school.
Okay. Now we're filling in a lot of the gaps, because when we talked about your weight loss journey and when we were rolling, I knew you would have power. And I've seen your work in the cage, and it's obviously very good. But then I was like putting it together as you're talking right now, where I go, oh, so even though you were gaining weight in perhaps not the healthiest of ways, like not having a nutritionist,
Yep.
you were still putting in the work.
Yes.
Which then means as you came down, yeah, you got smaller,
Yes.
but that's where a lot of your power has likely come from. That is why when I have seen you crack somebody, it's like, oh, that looks like it hurts.
Yeah.
You know? And when I have seen you grapple, especially like today, I just go, yeah, I'm not grappling against a dude that's a $160 right now, or a dude that's a $170.
I tell people I still got big boy strength.
You got that big boy strength.
Yeah.
And it's literally like, it's the best of both worlds because you move nimbly like you're fighting in MMA.
For some basketball.
Well,
see?
Again, it's really just, it's like mementoing right now in my brain where I can see all the Polaroids of like, he was in basketball. That's how he moves.
Yeah.
He was a big boy, but he wasn't just a big dude doing nothing. He was a big guy playing football.
Yeah.
And then now it's like you move nimbly, but you have this power that is within you that I guess is kind of the thank from this one dude.
Yeah.
So have you come to a place where you could kind of reconcile that as like, it was kind of a necessary evil? Or did you just say, I would have done it without him no matter what?
Ah, man, you know what? I think I would have done it without him no matter what. I'm just so, you give me a challenge and I want to see if I can do it or not. That's how my mindset with fighting is. Oh, you're ranked higher. You come from a big gym. That's cool. You got X or whatever UFC. That's cool. I need you to show me that you're better than me, or that you feel that you're better than me. And so that's just my mindset. I would have still been like, all right, well, I'm fat and this and that, or I accept your challenge.
It's like, I've never thought about it in the sense of like somebody who has that power to basically be like, you just dared me to eat? Done.
Yeah, done.
Say less. I'm going to eat a lot of food.
Mom,
now.
I need about 6 meals a day.
Mom, wrap it up. We doing this. But, okay, so you go to football. How do you find combat sports then? So at what point do you enter this world of either mixed martial arts or wrestling? Like, what happens first for you?
And it wasn't the best thing. It wasn't the best thing, but it became the best thing for me. I was doing some, security guard job at the time, and I was working overnight. And so I'm not eating well. My sleeping schedule's not the best. And then when I would go home to my wife or go home to my mom, and I would just knock out real quick, and they would tell me you stop breathing for 30 seconds. I was looking at you, you were snoring, and then I couldn't hear you snore, and I look over, and 30 seconds you're catching your breath. And so that's when I realized, okay, I'm actually, no wonder I'm waking up with headaches. I was like waking up with headaches sometimes, and I was like, this makes sense. I'm cutting off some of my circulation while sleeping. And so I went to go see a doctor, and the doctor was like, okay, they were checking out my neck, and my neck had a big bulge, a very big bulge. And I don't know if you remember this. There used to be a TV show, Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah.
And so I had talked to the doctors, and they were like, "Oh, you have a cyst right here, but the big lump is a lipoma." And they were like, "That's a big, like, chicken breast. That's what it looks like." And so she was like, "That's what's cutting off your circulation to breathe." And so I would, like I said, stop breathing in the nighttime. And so I ended up seeing a doctor, and they were going to perform surgery. And this is where it gets funny and sad for me, because I was like, all right, cool. Surgery day comes, I'm in my the whole gurney, all the outfit, go lay on the bed, wait for your doctor. All right, cool. And doctor looks at me, looks at my driver's license, looks at me. Hey, can you change back into your regular clothes? And I was like, oh, okay. And so I changed back into my regular clothes, and she was like, how much do you really weigh? Because I don't know if you really are 250. Like I had on my driver's license, 340. Yeah, you did look a little bit bigger than what your driver's license says. And for us to have surgery, we need to put you in anesthesia, and we need to lay you on your chest, and you might not wake up. And that's the big issue we have. You might not wake up, and we don't want to be liable. And I was, I'm too fat for surgery. That's how I took it. So I was like, oh my gosh, we got to make a change. If you can't if you're too fat for surgery, you got to make a change. And so, that's how, um, I ended up looking around, like, I was already watching UFC, but I was just like, I would like to work out like that. These guys are all in, peak form with their bodies and all that stuff. And I'm very athletic and competitive. So I would love to, venture off into that. And sure enough, SoCal Fight Factory was 3 miles away from my house. And I'm like, all right, let me check it out. And went and checked it out, and the rest is history now.
Okay. How much did you weigh when you ended up going to that gym?
340.
So that was 340. So
340. I was
340 right then and there.
340.
So was the goal to get down in weight so that you could do the surgery, or what was happening next?
Yeah, it was so the doctor had said, in order for us to perform the surgery, you have to get your body down, my BMI down to like 25%. And I think and here's where I was like, oh my gosh. She was like, you're like at 55. And I was like, 50, I'm half fat. I was like, yo, this is terrible. And so, yeah, once I told Coach Renee that, like, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. I didn't tell him nothing about, the lipoma like that. I was just like, trying to lose weight. He was like, all right, cool. How many times do you eat per day? And I was like 6. And he was like, all right, let's try 1 meal a day. And so I was like, all right, this sounds like a challenge. So 1 meal a day, and we started working out. Jump ropes, jabs here and there. I showed up not knowing, good form on a 1-2 or a simple jab, and when I switched up my meal to 1 meal a day, it wasn't the healthiest, but it was 1 meal, and I made sure it was 1 big meal. And at that time, it was hamburger helper. It was not the best, but I was like, if I'm gonna have 1 meal a day, I want something filling and all that stuff. So it was hamburger helper at the beginning, and then with working out and eating 1 meal a day, weight just started to shred off real fast. For sure, within like 3 months, I was already down 60 pounds. And that whole year of just training, I lost that 100 pounds. So, and then once after that, I was just like, I kind of like this. Like my body's transforming and all that. And like I said, I was very competitive. And so I had told coach, man, doing about 4 months, it's 1-2, 1-2, let's pick it up. And
oh, wow.
he was like, oh, okay. And he threw me in for my first spar session, and it was my teammate Saad. And Saad is a very, very nice technical fighter, and he whooped me technically, just picked me apart. And I feel like a lot of people will either be discouraged, and be like, all right, I think I'm just gonna stick with training, and like I said, me just being so competitive, and I was like, all right, I gotta pick this up now. I actually like this. It hurt, but it didn't hurt my ego. My ego was more so like, hey, let's get this bike rolling. And so after that 1 spar session, I was like, let's go all out with this fighting stuff.
Well, okay. All right. We're jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Let me go back. these are routine questions that we ask here on the show. So
Okay.
I kind of want to make sure we get them covered because you did a great job of describing how you got integrated. But I want to know your very first jiu-jitsu class. What was that experience like? And when in that progression did that happen?
I actually didn't even take jiu-jitsu until like maybe a year and a half after, still trying to lose weight and everything.
Okay.
And I just learning the basics, learning how to bridge and shrimp. And I did that for a little while. And then with me having my football background, it kind of helped out with, you know, takedowns and stuff like that. And now I'm like, okay. And they see I'm a little bit athletic. And so they knew they could, you know, teach me a little bit quicker. And so then I was working with some of the other white belts as well. And then it became, well, you've already trained with some of the fight teams. So now why don't you do jiu-jitsu with the fight team? You seem pretty strong and you can pick it up real fast. And so I started working with, you know, like I said, Coach Saad and Trevor DeVestern. And those guys are super solid monsters when it comes to grappling. And then Coach Angel is our judo coach. And so I at the time was working at an after school program. And so I would go in the mornings to judo. And that's kind of where I do more of my jiu-jitsu is on the judo side.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have great balance and you need to have a competitive thing in MMA that gives you an advantage. And anybody who's watched like a J-Flow video or anything to that effect, you just look at how effortless it is. And I go, I know how not effortless
I
it was
know.
to learn.
I follow him and I'm like, I got to try that. I got it.
I always look at it and I go, okay, but what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like I see what he's doing. I don't think I can do that.
And
I'll try.
Simple foot sweeps. I'm like, no, I can't do that. But next video.
Yeah, literally when I try to do it, it was like, oh, just off balance them and you kazushi and we do this. And then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, dude, I think I just chopped that dude's leg. I don't think I actually did a trip. I think I literally just, he didn't check a kick from me as it happened there. Okay. So that's your first day.
Yes.
This is the next question we usually do with it, which is, when did you fall in love with jiu-jitsu? Because for me, it's really important to know what got you into wanting to do this as more than just a hobby. And jiu-jitsu also will lead us to your MMA journey here in a second, I'm sure. But as we were talking off air, no coach in their right mind is ever going to sign off on an MMA dream before they even start getting into that world of jiu-jitsu. So where did you actually kind of fall in love with that?
I think it was when I was doing the morning judos. And it was foot sweeps. And once he started integrating the jiu-jitsu part of it, I was like, this goes so well with MMA that I think I want to learn this more. And then the names, the Hizikatami, this now, I'm like, oh, this is some pretty cool names that I actually want to learn now. And so I think that's what made me fall in love with it, just the learning process. I love to learn. And so learning the names, learning new moves, learning go from, you know, standing to the bottom with the judo trips and all the sweeps. I think that's where I truly fell in love with it. Everything else that I learned is honestly just a cherry on top. Yeah, I think judo took my love for it.
You have a very different approach. A lot of people just really went the jiu-jitsu route and then started finding their way into MMA. So for you, when does the thought cross the head? Well, now I want to fight. Had it always been there? Because when you say you're a competitive guy, that's the biggest way to compete in combat sports. So at what point does that kick around in your brain?
You know what? I don't even remember. It was just one of those, like, I'm starting to spar now a lot. I'm like, I think feel like I'm one of the guys now. You know, you start to think you're like one of the guys. You start to think maybe I can be a fighter. You know, you start to, I don't know. You think you can live that life, and then And then when I told coach, like, you know what, I think I'm ready for a fight. And we started talking what weight class and all that stuff. And I was 55. And just that journey was fun. But it also, like I said, it let me know, like, do you really love this? I didn't. The first fight did not go so well for me, and it was a test to, do you really want to continue this or not? Because you get my coach would say, when the worst of the worst happens, there's nothing else but up from here. So I feel like the worst of the worst happened in my first fight, and I got to see, like, do I really want to do this or not? Do I really want to continue to fight, or do I just want to take classes? And like I said, like I've been repeating, it's my competitive side just takes it just takes over. And are you better than me? All right, well, let's see, and get back to that.
Okay. It's so wild because we talk with all these fighters, but the real answer is you don't have to fight. Nobody has to fight. Nobody has to.
Funny you say that. My father-in-law, he kept saying during the whole camp, you can pull out. No, you don't have to fight. You're sacrificing not eating. He's like, you sure you don't want to go back to school? Just telling me everything. Just, you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
And you start to think that sometimes, as it gets closer and it gets close to the fight week, you're like, maybe I don't have to do this. But that's that little voice that's already trying to get you out the door. And, you go back to training, you get punched hard. You're like, I could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my father-in-law tried so hard to, you don't have to do this. Don't have to do this.
Okay. How is he now that you do fight?
Well, like I said, my very first fight, I took an L, and him and my mother-in-law don't go to my fights. They're like, we'd rather wait for the results after, and so they wait for the Instagram post. Or they actually wait for the phone call.
Oh,
we actually call them. Me and my wife, since we're in the car, we're like, all right, we'll give them the call now and let them know, and they hear them celebrate the phone, and we definitely appreciate it. And the next one's in February 21st in Lancaster. And I even told them, look, we're home. You should come to this one. They said, we'll be expecting that phone call, and they won't be there.
I think for some people, that's just what you do. And it's not just them.
Yeah.
Other parents are very much like this. There are a number of parents who are the exact same way. And then you have the parents that are like, let's go. Or they're the ones that are like, oh, I signed you up to fight him. I mean,
Yeah.
Lots of different stories.
Yeah.
But I think, of course, within that was him making sure you were going to be healthy. Because think about it like this. If your athletic journey for MMA and combat sports begins with a health scare, that's always a cloud that hangs over your head for other people to see.
Yes.
What they don't see is you having this clear of mind. I'm going to do this. I'm stubborn, but I'm stubborn in the way that is accomplishing.
Yes.
And sometimes it's hard for people to see that.
Yeah.
Because they think of the risks, they think of all the things, and they're looking out for you because of love.
Yes.
The hard part is also trying to tell them what I do is what I love.
Yeah.
And the same effort you put into warning me is the same effort I put into wanting to do it.
Yeah. My mother-in-law, she tells me, I love the fighting. I love the fighting. I'm like, then you're going to be at my next fight? And she's like, no, but I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it.
It is difficult, I'm sure.
Yeah. But that's my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Now, my mom goes to my fights, and my mom is like, I just love to see you perform.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, oh, like my mom's been with the wins and the losses, and the motives never changed with her. It's just, I'm happy to see you perform. I'm happy to see you be happy. I'm like, all right, cool. And then, so I see both sides of it. Like,
it's not easy
No,
to
yeah.
be a parent in the combat sports world. I have seen so many different sides of it. And it helps now that there's a growing list of parents who themselves have trained
Yes.
or are more articulate or educated on the sport. Because what they think is just all the things that could go wrong. And don't get me wrong, there are things that very much can go wrong.
Yeah.
So for you, what was the overall compelling reason? Because even though your father-in-law was giving you all the outs,
Yeah.
what was the thing inside of you that said, I got to do it?
Preaching my competitive side. It's one of those, like I said, you got to show me that you're better than me. Video games, checkers, Connect Four. And I tell my wife, I love you more. And
Hold on. No. See, this is a trait that every person has. This is a regular part of the show.
Yeah.
I kid you not. As competitive as you're describing yourself,
Yeah.
the most egoless form of rolling. So, like, it's hard because I get people who are competitive who come in all the time. I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah.
What happens is I talk trash to them.
Yeah.
There's no part of me that was talking trash to you. I was just having fun.
Yeah.
And then I could see that you're having fun and it makes me go, oh, okay, I'm going to give you more tips or I'm going to spend this time that we have. Cause you get 1 hour to really just say like, what do you do?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I solved for 25 minutes what you do. Now let's pick it apart. Let's make it better. Or let's do these drills that might help or do this. And what I find fascinating about that is I'm learning as we're going too, but I can tell you almost 80% to 90% of the guys, that gene that gets them the interview because they've won fights, it's the same one that is like, oh, I think we're escalating now.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I always have to look and I go, well, I guess they've chosen my fate. And I have a thing where I'll match your energy. So if you go a certain rate, I'll usually match it.
Right. Yep.
And if it's higher than my output is capable of, I'll be like, I'll do what I do, which will bring you down.
Yeah.
You were so smiley. Like, I didn't get the sense that you're so highly competitive because you turned it off when we were rolling.
Yeah.
Do you think you did, or were you still being competitive and I just didn't see it?
Honestly, I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn because I was like I said, once you started, showing me like, hey, if you go more right here, it'll help you out a little bit. And like I said, I was like, oh, okay. And I wanted to keep going that way, keep going. And I think I not 1 ounce of competitiveness was out there. I love to learn.
But it blindsided me because you keep talking up this competitive side. And I was like, brother, we rolled for an hour. I didn't see that guy.
Yeah.
There have been people where I'm like, oh, I have seen it.
Yeah.
And it is like,
I love to learn. And just feeling how we were rolling, I can tell, we obviously know, like, you know more. And so I want to see what I can do, to get a little advantage here. Okay, that worked for me. All right, cool. I can do that, maybe back home.
All right, now I need definitions then. We do often ask this as well. What is an extreme version of your competitiveness where you are maybe not proud of? Because when you're just like, oh, it's checkers, give me a board game, give me this. I don't see you on a regular occasion.
Yeah.
So what is an embarrassing version of your competitiveness?
I hate to mention this, but this was probably maybe like 2 fights ago when I fought the male, and I was stuck on that single leg, stuck, and I was so fixated on that single leg that I kept going to the whole fight. And after the fight, I kept telling my coaches, like, this is my worst fight. This is my worst fight. This is the worst fight I've ever fought. And my coach is like, you do realize you were doing some hard grappling for 9 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Nah, but he's like, no. you got to see the good in this. Like, we're grappling hard for 9 minutes straight. And like that one, to me, I'm still like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I don't like, that's just me.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. And I hate even thinking about it most of the time.
I mean, I get that.
A win's a win, but I'm like, I'm wasn't my best win. I want to win sometimes in some fashion or something. That one I felt like ugly.
So this is where we have to remind people, martial arts is not perfect.
No, yeah. It's not.
The search of perfection.
Yeah.
But it's understanding it's very unlikely it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you might get a like flash knockout one day where you go, okay, well, I think that's as close to perfect as we can do.
Yeah.
By and large, you're probably going to see a lot of these go to decision.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just somebody gets eclipsed and they're not in the same league as one another. It happens. You're going to find that days like that, you can't see the win because you didn't get a finish, but the domination and the impressive display of what you can do is something that your team sees for you.
Yeah.
So it is important to have the distinction.
And I love that they bring me back to reality. Like, no, you were good.
When did that kick in then? Because I know you said you were thinking that at the moment.
Yeah.
And then you also have said, well, I don't like thinking about it. So I'm not sure if it has set in. When did your team beat it into you to be like, no, it was good, you idiot. Look at this.
I think it was maybe around, my last fight was September. So I think it was around like August. They were like, no, you're still talking about June. Like, no, that was a good performance. And I was like, all right. And didn't feel like it. But like I said, I appreciate my teammates. Those guys are like brothers to me. They bring me back to reality. We call each other pillow hands. If you haven't got a knockout, I'm pillow hands right now. So,
no.
So yeah, I haven't got a knockout or TKO. So
you just might attract certain types of coaches and teammates, because the weird part of this is you, I'm sure, have not still seen that coach that called you fatty, right?
No.
So he has no clue that you ended up becoming this MMA fighter.
We have each other on Facebook, but
so he has to be aware of it in some way.
Yeah.
Unless he's too fat to actually push the
right. He's like the post. He's like the post.
I'm just telling you, bro. If you can dish it, you better be able to take
it.
Right. And the thing is, I have to feel, because I don't know his quality of character.
Okay.
I have to feel, in the benefit of the doubt, that he has to be proud of knowing that you were able to pull that out. Because some coaches, I won't name names, but they use roasting as a form of encouraging people.
Yeah.
I just don't find calling someone fat funny. And this is coming from a guy who has coined the phrase Jiu-Jitsu fat.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what Jiu-Jitsu fat is?
Yes, I would.
So, for example, I consider myself Jiu-Jitsu fat. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that I think that I'm a real person fat.
Yeah.
It's just when I'm around other people in Jiu-Jitsu, I'm a little bit on the heavier side.
Yeah.
Because all these steroided, heavy competitive mofos have washboard abs, literally are just always talking about their stats. They're talking about what they do. They're talking about the fact that, like, man, I'm cutting weight for this and this. And I'm like, I'm doing none of that.
Yeah.
I have a small S&C routine that I do. And then every once in a while, I get some of the guys who are like, hey, man, I like your arms right now. And I'm like, thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
It's very nice. I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah.
But it's weird that 25 years ago, you couldn't convince me this would get girls. You know, like, you'd be like, nah, if I do that, oh man, I'll get all the ladies. I'm like, well, one, I'm married now. Two, it's no girls are interested. It's just dudes being like, yeah, it's a nice body right now.
Solid right there, brother. Yeah.
I'm like, this is weird, but take the compliment.
Yeah.
So, okay. Along those lines, we talked about this off air, and I want to get more into that, which is you mentioned you couldn't just go to any gym, that you had to feel a brotherhood.
Yes.
When did that moment seep in for you? Like, when did you feel a part of that brotherhood with that team? And what was the secret sauce? Because you alluded to it as you were giving your origin story, but there's something there that you were describing even off the camera, that you were describing it to me in a way that I go, I kind of understand what your team is like.
I've gone to a couple gyms just to check them out, just to see which gym I wanted to be at when I started to go more all in. And not to say I was going to leave SoCal, but I wanted to check out other gyms. And when I came back, one of my teammates had asked me, like, now that you've been around a couple other gyms, do you feel like those other gyms are just gyms where you go and you pay your membership and you go home, or is it like a brotherhood? And honestly, that was a key. It just hit deep, and it was just like, yo, those other gyms are just gyms, and you pay your monthly membership, and I'll see you next week, and whereas my gym, like I said, pillow hands, we talk trash to each other. I told you I received a phone call from my teammate today. What are you up to? Nothing about fighting, nothing, just what are you up to? Just checking in, and that's that I feel like key for me being at SoCal Fight Factory. It's brotherhood. I'm learning from a bunch of guys from different backgrounds, and they all went to different high schools, different, some went to colleges, but some went to different, here and there. And just to have us all in one room and all our mindsets become one, it's been amazing. It's legit a brotherhood. I can get beat up around and get up and be like, my mama hits harder than you, and it's okay. All right, in the next round, it's fun. It's picked up, but it's fun.
This is the sad part, is that I have the well-adjusted side of you today.
Yeah.
I thrive in the trash talk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is my whole world. And I would argue I am uniquely better at trash talk than I am at jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See, playing sports all my life, I'm solid with the trash talk. I get it right. They get it right to me, and I'm right back at you. And it's hot potato now.
It's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I always think of it this way for our jiu-jitsu team, is that one of the guys one time put up, he was like, "Oh, coach, you do care." And I was like, "What?" And he goes,
Yeah.
I was like, "When did you think I didn't care?" And he goes, "Well, you just make fun of us all the time." I go, "Yeah, that's my thing.
I care, but I just make fun of you." That's it.
I wouldn't make fun of you if I didn't care. Like, when did that not seep in? Are you that dumb?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, it's just sometimes you get us really good, and it hurts because then I can't beat you at jiu-jitsu either." And I was like, I know, it's the circle of life. You got to get used to it.
Yeah.
You're never going to submit me, so it's just going to get worse. And I think there was a day, he's kind of like the Debbie Downer of our group.
Yeah.
He'll, like, you show him a technique. He looks at it, he goes, "Yeah, but coach, what happens if somebody does this?" And you go, and then you just get submitted and you lose, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think happens? And then you try to teach him, and he's like, "Yeah," but I go, "Oh my God.
We're not there yet."
Yeah. But I just, at one point, I don't know what it was, but I told him, I'm like, "Oh, Chat GBT over here with this lame ass jokes is coming in." And this dude just like literally stares ahead of everybody else and goes, "In high school, they all said I was like that."
No.
I was like, "What?" And I go, "Oh no, you just admitted I was right."
Yeah.
I hit fucking something on the head.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God. I'm never letting you live this down now.
Oh,
And
that's
the
terrible.
kid saw me as I was running rounds, just beside myself, being like, "Oh, this is the best thing that's happened." Because all I do is I go, "Now you have to shut up.
Yeah.
Now you have to just do the class," which is really all I want you to do.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I go, "You all get made fun of when you do something stupid.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just general playful banter. But then one of you does something incredibly stupid. I go, stop being dumb.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would argue that is a little bit more of my MO.
Yeah.
Having fought now, what, 6 fights or so?
Yeah, 6 fights.
Okay, cool. That was from memory, so still works. How have you felt your journey has gone so far? You said that you started in a tough spot, but you've also had a lot more highs now.
Yes.
Has it been fulfilling thus far? And where is kind of the trajectory in your head? Where do you see yourself going? Because there does become this idea of, do you go pro? Do you continue pursuing it? Like, where are you in your journey and what are you thinking right now?
As of right now, I think I've had the discussion with my team, my wife, and 1 to 2 more.
Okay.
1 to 2 more. And if it's 2, it's because it's got to be a title fight. But 1 to 2 more, and then we're going to go pro. So 2026 is the year I plan to go pro.
Nice.
That role, and hopefully summertime, start getting some type of income from that. You know.
Listen, it's a very weird thing to explain to people whenever people are bringing up college athletes making money now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The NIL is crazy right now.
Okay, good. They should.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, I'm looking at us like scraping together
Yeah.
to just train.
Yeah.
Going like, well, hold on. No, I think I got some change in the car. We'll get by. That's why sometimes I go, I think we're the hardest sport
Yeah.
and the least compensated.
Yes.
And I think that people have gotten away with, no, but it's honor, strength and honor.
Yeah, right.
No money for you, but so much.
What you learn, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Here's a bell. Here you go.
Like somebody was asking me sometime for some content thought or anything, and I go, "Are you paying?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, well, no." And I was like, "Well, I gotta go, dude. Love you guys.
Peace.
Just let me know how it goes. I'm not doing it."
Yeah.
And it's hard because this is something that we all love dearly. So
Yeah.
it does weigh upon us, I know, a lot of the times. Okay. Have you had a favorite fight so far? Because now I want to make you have to think about something in a positive light.
Okay.
As somebody who is hypercritical of their own performances, I'm going to have to make you pick one that you've been actually proud of. So do you have a fight that you are proud of yet?
That's my own fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Which one was it?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It was the fight with me and what is his name? Alejandro Barreto.
Okay.
I feel like that was a good fight. He sold out. He had, over 100, 150 tickets sold, maybe even around 200. He had some rapper walk him out.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he had the whole. He had a tent selling his merchandise there. I feel like that was my most favorite fight. They even got my walkout song wrong. I felt like everything was against me. Not the promotion, but just everything was against.
What was the walkout song supposed to be?
DMX, we right here. That's been my song since the first fight. It's been all my Spar Star fights.
No.
But that night that he had the whole rapper walk him out, I had another DMX song, and I was walking out like, I don't know the lyrics to this. I want to sing my song walking out, but I don't know the lyrics to this. And I walked out, and I feel like that was that was my most fun. Except the crowd was against me. My wife and mom accidentally sat on his side.
No.
So I don't want to say what was said, but there was nasty things said. My mom and my wife had to. They were cheering. They definitely were cheering, but it was like, just like, we got to be more careful because we're surrounded by his whole people. And it got to the point where the sheriffs had to walk them out, had to escort them.
Oh my God.
Because they started to get rowdy at us. And I didn't really notice like it was his people. So after the fight, I looked at my wife and my mom, like, let's go. not realizing it's his people all over there. And so after I said, let's go, I hear boo, 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 boo. I'm like, oh, wow, wrong side. And I feel like I said, everything was against me that night. And the low blow and the knee to the head, I was like, brother, this is not going well for me. Just having to overcome, I feel like what everything was against me that day. It felt amazing. Really one of my favorite fights of 2025.
Well, that is one I believe I commentated.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. What was your interpretation of my retelling of that? Because there are things that when we're trying to tell a story,
yes,
we're painting a certain canvas and trying to tell things about you guys. Obviously, your journey is something I think people may not know coming in, and so we like to put that up front. But then there's also just like, well, look at what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I was recalling the audience, but I wanted to say I acknowledged it.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You did acknowledge that. Yeah.
What did I say there? Because again, I'm going off of memory. Still works. But now that you're retelling this story, I'm remembering kind of going, uh-oh.
Rowdy crowd.
This is an interesting crowd.
Yeah.
So what was your interpretation of how we saw your fight then?
Oh man. I think you guys announced it very, very, very well. Everything was perfect. And I think I wasn't angry or anything like that. I think it was more like a camera angle because I was like, I don't think they've seen the low blow and all that stuff. And
yeah, it's hard sometimes in
and it wasn't until someone taking a photo, and that's how I was like, screenshot. So now anybody who feels like I was playing.
You know what happens though in these moments? I try to give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But what you do is you are usually commentating on the scene rather than saying like, I believe he is faking it.
That's true.
I believe he has a real low blow.
Yeah.
It's more so like, I think the crowd is angry at him because they feel he is milking this or whatever.
Oh yeah. The crowd definitely made me think. Cause like after the low blow, after the knee to the head, I'm literally looking up and I could hear music playing, crowd cheering. And I'm like, don't tell me they called this fight. And I'm like, let me get up. And you just hear the crowd go, oh no. And so the crowd does play a factor. And I don't usually ever hear the crowd in there. Like I legit don't hear the crowd. I think because in basketball, I've been in a championship game in high school. Football, I've won a bowl game. So I've been in stadiums and arenas, yes, where there's thousands of fans, and I can tune you out. And so I tuned them out, but it was that second of like what just happened, and I'm hearing music in the crowd. I was like one of the first times, like, what is going on here? Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. I again, the reason I ask it is mostly in those moments, like you do recognize the importance that these fights have to these people.
Yeah.
Especially at the amateur level. You know, we don't know how many fights people are going to have. So I do tend to be a little nice on the commentary. And I do see people in the comment section. I do see people in the crowd. And you are telling a story. But I really do try to anchor it in. These are humans.
Yes.
Like at your core, root for your people.
Yes.
But don't root against somebody in an absurd way.
Yeah.
So there is times where you'll see me roast the crowd or, you know, every once in a while, if I'm on the mic and I'm interviewing somebody, I'm like, hey, okay.
Yeah, I have heard you, hey, calm down, guys. It's all right. We'll fix this. Or not even fix it, but we got this under control.
It's my way of just saying, shut up.
Yeah.
In a very polite way. But I have a very low tolerance for people who are putting on a show for you being heckled in that way.
Yeah.
Especially if they didn't merit it.
Yeah.
And really, there's only like 3% of the time they merit it. Like, did you start a fight? Yeah, you deserve to be heckled. Like, did you start a fight after the fight? Yes.
Yeah.
Did you miss weight? It's a little out of my hand.
Yeah.
They might feel a certain way about you. The other person might feel a certain way about you. I'm just the guy with the interview question. So I try to be cognizant of it. But as you were retelling the story, I was going back in my memory and I go, yep, I remember them being weird.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I like you, but I also want you to know that performance, and it was your, I think, October performance. Was that the last fight? September. My apologies. A lot of different things. The September performance were the back-to-back things that made me want to do the interview with you, because I felt like you were growing as a fighter.
Yeah.
And one thing that happens when I'm observing people is attitude. Do you win fights? How do you win them?
Yes.
And I felt like really you were in a very compelling way building a very good resume. So your growth as a martial artist is very well seen.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Of course, dude. And I mean, we get this front row seat and all of us do our martial arts training. For me, it's just jiu-jitsu. For you, it's a whole plethora of things: judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai. And you work in this silo where it's just you by yourself. And if you're already your own worst enemy, sometimes it's kind of cool for somebody who watches you to go like, hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or, oh, okay, I see it. And then getting the evidence today where I go, it's coming together quite nicely.
Yeah.
You just stay on the path. Here's a couple notes. Let me know how they work.
Yeah.
So that's the part I like.
Yeah.
Okay. With all that being said, you have another fight February 21st.
Yes.
It's a very exciting thing.
Yes.
They're not always in Lancaster, though.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you're fighting in Lancaster?
This is my first time fighting in Lancaster.
So this is kind of the home turf. How does it feel to be fighting closer to home for you?
It honestly feels different. I'm so used to driving to wherever, most of my fights have been with Spar Stars. So wherever Spar Stars located, kind of where I've been at, most of the time it was at Commerce. So just driving from Palmdale to Commerce, it's tiring, but I'm out there my whole day. I hear some people, I got a hotel room, I got this, and I'm like,
must be nice.
Must be nice. I'm driving back home tonight, and enjoying my night in my own bed.
Yeah.
And so, just so this being the first one in Lancaster, I am just excited. I want to sell out. I want massive crowd, as best as we can get. That way, they do more events in Lancaster. And I myself, I'm going to be going to Sam's Club. I'm going to be going to, the gas station. I'm really trying to endorse this fight that's going to be in Lancaster. That way more people can go and they can truly enjoy it without having to, everyone watches UFC. Everybody's cool. Why don't you watch something local? I promise you it's a lot different. I promise you will be even bigger fans of UFC or whatever big promotion. I promise you fall in love with MMA if you come to one event. That's all it takes.
I mean, I'll even go one further on that, which is you can become a lot more attached to their journeys.
Yeah.
When you see it live, you know that someone's nephew, you know that someone's kid. Things change. When you see somebody on TV, you're like, who's this joker?
Yeah.
And every once in a while, if you're at a bar, you might hear like, he's my cousin. Yeah, okay, well,
Yeah.
Why is he tapping to that move?
Yeah.
Like, you can say that about somebody on TV. You don't say that about these amateurs there. And
No,
that's for the reason when I see these comment sections.
Oh, it's crazy.
And I'm like, where did you come from? Like, why are you saying this shit? And I've seen like Thea's get straight into the business.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Bum. And I'm like, 0-0. They're all bums at 0-0
Exactly.
until they become somebody. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And
And that's another reason why you're just mentioning, like, I don't have no beef with nobody, none of that, because honestly, one fight and you see a lot of these guys are done.
Yeah.
And
you don't know.
Yeah, you don't. And I honestly might just check my camo just to check, and I'm like, oh, there's no fights lined up. He hasn't fought since 2024. I'm like, man, like, might be a wrap. And
Well-
so I'm always like nice to say, hey, brother, you might be doing this just for the experience or
Yeah.
something right now. And so,
Well, think about what you're doing it for. You're not doing it for the money.
yeah, no,
So
you're definitely not.
You're coming in here, and I like to treat it as a unique event each time, which is it's not promised tomorrow. Health being what it is for people, situations, crazy things happen in this world. So you really do need to take it very much as is and appreciate when you can fight and that you do get these opportunities. So it is part of the reason why I have this protectiveness against these comments.
Yeah.
And then I start thinking, like, who in their right mind is saying this? And then you realize they don't train.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, right, they're buying the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone didn't even show up. I'm telling you, if you from the paper, from TV to in person, it's
different.
It's different.
It is.
And even with the amateurs, the pros, it's like you fall in love with it in person. So I definitely want to have a massive crowd. I want to bring people that I don't even know, and I want you to come and experience it, because you're in a cage like that, it's different.
Now, you do a great job of describing the whole event. What are you going to contribute? Because you did a great job. Like, they should package that and sell that from Sparstar as like a promo. But like, now you did it for the team. This is how I know you've been on football. You've been on team sports.
Yes.
What are you, sir, going to provide for that crowd, for that individual watching on TV come February 21st?
As they know, I'm gonna come and bring a fight. This is not an easy walk in the park. I'm not saying, oh, I'm first round, I'm knocking him out, and this and that. I'm fighting somebody who's really polished. He's got more fights than me, so he's really been in the game for a little while, and you guys are gonna see something very exciting. It's gonna whether it goes from the ground to standing, you're gonna see a show where it's gonna have you guys on your feet. I can guarantee that this guy's like I said, he's polished, but I feel like I'm starting to be nicely polished myself, and so I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm excited to fight a high level fighter, someone who's highly ranked in California. His last fight was for the Camo and Sparstar, so I'm excited to really test myself with some of the top fighters in California.
Well, I'm excited for that fight, but I do want to make a small wager with you. Okay. If you win this next fight, you have to take out the part on your Instagram that says washed up college athlete.
I'm washed up, man. That's it.
Bro, you can't be washed up and have a winning amateur record in mixed martial arts. I hate to break it.
Yeah.
You could be a washed up college athlete.
Yeah.
But who's still trying to live as a college athlete when they're not in college right now?
Not me.
So I feel that after this next win, I want to see that deleted from this Instagram, sir.
I got you.
Because it was hard not to bring up here. And then you take us on this great story about your upbringing, how you were able to do your transition into MMA. And at no part was I thinking, well, this dude's pretty washed. At no point when we were rolling today, I was like, well, this jiu-jitsu, a wash. I don't want to have a commentator fight. I was like, look at this wash.
Guys washed up.
Trying to get a single leg this whole time. How embarrassing. Like, never.
Yeah. Well, I got you. We get a W and I'll take it off.
All right, fair enough. Because I just realized now as I look at it, it just bugged me the entire time. And I looked down at my phone several times, just staring at it like, am I going to bring this up? I don't feel like I should because I don't agree with it. So I figured out a way to get rid of it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a pin on this conversation. And what we're going to do is we're going to give shout outs to friends, family members, anybody who makes you the fighter who you are today. And feel free to plug anything. That camera is yours. I'm going to put it on you in just a second, sir.
All right. I just want to thank SoCal Fight Factory, Coach Renee, Coach Fritz, Coach Angel, Marcos, Coach Ray, Coach Pan, my teammates from Royce Butler, Saad Ul Hassan, Gio Saran, Dominic Maylander, and Trevor DeVestern, and Chadrick. And I think that's all of us. I just want to thank you guys. You guys continue to push me to be a better partner at the gym and a better fighter. And I appreciate for what you guys truly put me on with this game. I don't have any sponsors, so I just want to appreciate anybody who wants to, sponsor me in the future. I guess my biggest sponsor is my wife. She does the laundry, does all. She's sponsors me with all that stuff. Yeah, so.
But she's not paying you to fight.
No, yeah.
So maybe we need to get on this train of trying to get you some sponsors.
Yeah.
Here's what we'll do. Here, look at this camera with me, okay? All right, we're gonna do a quick little promo here. I'm gonna take out the headpiece for this. All right, why do you need to sponsor Jay? Well, the answer is if you didn't fall in love with him and you've made it this far into the interview, you're a liar. You need to get into this man's journey. He has lost the weight, which means he will put in the work. I want to make it clear. You don't lose over 100+ pounds, then go fight without dedication and stability and results that happen after consistency. So if you want somebody who's going to consistently brand your products, support your products, show people about them, I don't know, maybe you guys can have a nutritionist or anybody who has a food company who wants to do meal preps. How about a dude who couldn't do it back in the day and still made it happen? This is a dude who basically made fitness happen on Hamburger Helper. If that's not key for saying, I want to help that guy do it the right way, I don't know what is. Let's ask this. When you say video games, what video games are you playing?
I was having an argument with my teammates the other day. They were calling me childish. I play childish games.
As in?
I play, college football. I play Madden. I play, UFC 5. I play just all sports games.
Okay.
And they were like, bro, it's rated E for all the kids and all that stuff. And more so because they were playing, what is it, Arc Raider, and they were playing Battlefield.
For sure.
And I'll play Battlefield. I'll play Call of Duty. And I won't sugarcoat, I won't lie. You will be carrying me. I am the guy that will revive you back. And so you give me a game plan, a mission, and that's where we'll go. But other than that, I'm playing nothing but like sports games. And so
this all checks out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what we need to do? Two things here. If you're the coach that called him fat, you should be sponsoring him. If you're somebody who wants to get these hands video game wise, hey, how about you play with him, but put him in touch with some video game sponsor folks?
Oh, that'd be dope.
Like support your local communities who are selling video games, reselling shit like that. Let's start branding it out. Things that this man likes. Hamburger Helper, we won't even turn you down.
Not at all.
That shit I was talking 2 minutes ago. If you pay,
we're there.
Never said it. We'll delete it from this episode. But I just got to say, he's got a great attitude. He's only continuing to progress. And because he is going to go the pro route, do it now before it's too late. So that is my pitch to you guys. If you are looking for somebody who is incredibly well-spoken and very nice, and those are two very difficult things to do in the world of MMA. So just saying. Amen.
Thank you.
I'm gonna whatever. Right? I mean, the real key is if you get a sponsor, then I'm gonna come in.
Then we gotta talk. We gotta talk.
Cool. That's a 30%er, bro.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. It's not 10%. I'm not a regular manager.
The big ones. Yeah.
It was like those beautiful words out of my mouth landed that, sir.
30.
30 indeed. Why don't we do a few reminders, you guys? Thank you so much for watching. We want to tell you guys, if you haven't gone to patreon.com, do so right now. Patreon.com/grappling hour. If you like this show, $5 a month, see these interviews 30 days before anybody else. And for a few extra bonus dollars, see the extra bonus content not available anywhere else, including tape studies, roast raft, grappling hour challenge. And right now we're going to do a quick tape of what this man's favorite fight of 2025 was. Bet you won't guess it. I don't know that for sure. You have to pay to find out. Additionally, you guys should be liking, comment, and subscribing to wherever you are watching this. And I told you I'd give you a prompt. Here is your prompt for this episode. What is the silliest nutrition thing that you did or continue to still do? Here is the further explanation of it. This man used Hamburger Helper at a time when he was cutting weight. Is that recommended by most nutritionists? Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah.
And you know what? He did it in moderation, which is a really big key component. I'll tell you what mine was. I remembered distinctly in college to cut down on some resources and to try and like rein in part of my diet. I was like, oh, I'll have a Snickers as like part of my one meals.
Yeah.
What if my wife tells me, she goes, are you doing a Snickers diet? And I was like, not exactly. And she goes, how does a Snickers play into your nutrition? I was like, well, it's like a snack. She goes, I know what it is, but I don't think it's doing what you think it's doing. I think you're just buying the branding. And I go, yeah, I guess so.
I think so.
All right. So took Snickers off the diet. That's a silly thing I used to do. Now, I'm not saying it's not bad in moderation. It's just I was having it daily, and I don't think you need to have that daily. And I didn't even need to have it daily. I just did it.
Yeah.
Now I meal prep like a real adult, and it's very good. And that's how I maintain my weight.
Yeah.
So do that. rafflesports.com/merch. Get you some Grappling Hour t-shirts, hoodies, and of course, our new tank tops. And finally, if you want to continue the discussions that we have here on the show, you can catch us on our Discord at Grappling Hour. Ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. We appreciate you guys. Go see him February 21st. And thank you guys for watching. It's been a great day for grappling. See you back on the mats.